Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning everyone. Thank you for coming this presentation. It's great to see you all. Let me introduce my group. My group consists me, Aisyah Sarinasititi, Emilia Agustin, Sinta Khoiriyah, and Syaeri Laelatul Awalia. Today we will discuss about the silent way. Let's enjoy it. Before we go to the definition, let's discuss about introduction of silent ways method. Ideas that learning a language mean forming a set of habits was seriously called in the early 1916. Noam Chomsky argued that language acquisition couldn't possibly take place through habit formation since people create and understand utterances they have never heard before. Thus, language mustn't be considered a product of habit formation, and people use their cognitive to acquiring language. In the early 1916, there was a great interest in applying the new cognitive approach, where developed with deductive learners are given the rule and asked to apply it, and inductive learner discovered the rule from the example and do practice. So, silent way is a method of language teaching based on the idea that teachers should be silent in the classroom, but students should be encouraged to speak as much as possible. Now we are going to thinking about the experience. The observation. Number 1, the teacher point to 5 blocks of color without saying. The principle. The teacher should start with something the student already know. Number 2, observation. The teacher points again to the 5 blocks of color. Principle. Language learners are intelligent. Number 3, the teacher doesn't model the new sound. Principle. Language is not learned by repeating after a model. Number 4, students take turn tapping out the stone. Principle. Student action can tell the teacher whether or not they have learned. Number 5, one student say arquida to help other. Principle. Students should learn to rely on each other.
My name is Syaeri Laelatul Awalia. My NPM 0919013631. Okay, I will continue, Aisyah. Number 6, observation. The teacher works with gesture. Principle. Teacher works with the student. Number 7, observation. The students learn the sound by tapping out the names of the classmates. Principle. The teacher makes use of what students already know. Number 8, the teacher points to a road. Principle. Learning involves transferring what one knows the new context. Number 9, observation. The teacher points of the word. Principle. Reading is worked on from the beginning. And the last, number 10, observation. The teacher sits down at the tables and is silent. Principle. Silence is a tool.
I'm Emilia Agustin. In this slide, the explanation about observation and principle in silent way methods. As we take our seat, the teacher had just finished introducing the silent way in Portuguese. Here is some of observation related to the principle of silent way methods. Number 1, what are the goals of teachers who use the silent way? The goals are help the students are able to use the language for self-expression. In addition, use silent way method, the teacher can develop the students' independence appropriate with the student needed. Number 2, what is the role of the teacher? What is the role of the student? The teacher role is to monitor the student efforts, and the students are encouraged to have an active role in learning the language. And then the student role is to make use of what they know, to free themselves of any obstacle that would interfere with giving their utmost attention to the learning task, and to actively engage in exploring the language. Number 3, What are some characteristics of the teaching or learning process? The teacher set up the situation that focus on the structure of the language. These are introduced through a language-specific sound color chart, and students begin their study of the language through its sound. Number 4. What's the nature of student-teacher interaction? What is the nature of student-student interaction? Student-teacher interaction. Although the teacher is silent in this method, but actually the teacher is very active in this learning process. The teacher listening attentively to students' speech and silently working with them. The teacher just gives clue to the student when the teacher should speak. And then student-student interaction. The student can learn about something with the student else and is therefore encouraged. Number 5. How are the feelings of the students still built? When the students feeling into fire, the teacher try to find ways to overcome them, and then the student have the opportunity to express their feeling through feedback session at the end of the lesson, and then teacher can help overcome the student problems that are happening in the learning process. Number 6. How is language view? How is culture view? Language of the world share a number of features. However, each language has also a unique reality or spirit, since it is the expression of a particular group of people. Their culture is reflected in their own unique worldview and is separable from their language. Number 7. What areas of language are emphasized? What English skills are emphasized? The areas of language are more emphasized in pronunciation. Pronunciation is very important for the students because pronunciation produces the sounds. The language skills are emphasized on reading comprehension and writing skill about what they have already produced orally. Number 8. What is the role of the student's native language? Focus on the perception of the students without using translation. The student's native language can be used to help the student to improve the student's pronunciation and also during the feedback session. More important is native language can be exploited by the teacher of target language. Number 9. How is evaluation accomplished? In learning process, the teacher assesses the student in all the times. Teaching is subordinated to learning. The teacher should be responsive to immediate learning needs. The teacher silently frees him to attend to his student and to be aware of these needs. The teacher also does not praise or criticize students. And then the last one, how does the teacher respond to student errors? Errors in the process of learning are a natural thing that happens. Teacher uses student errors as a basis for deciding which one is necessary for students. The teacher works with the student in getting them to self-correct. Students are not taught to learn much, but students need to learn to listen to themselves and to compare their own protection with their developing inner criteria.
My name is Syaeri Laelatul Awalia. My NPM 0919013631. Okay, let's review the techniques and materials used in silent way. There are: first, sound color charts. Contents block of colors start from syllabus, word, and sentence. This one is to teach pronunciation. One color represents one sound in the target language. Second is teacher silence. We can say that the teacher gives just much necessary and then silent, or the other teacher set up a situation, put a language structure to the circulation and then is silent. The third is peer correction. Here, students are encouraged to help another student when they is experiencing difficulty. It is important that any help be offered in a cooperative manner, not competitive one. Number 4 is roles. It can be used to provide visible action or situation or any language structure, to introduce it, or enable students to practice using it. Number 5. Self-correction gesture. The teacher indicated that each of his fingers represented a word in a sentence and used this to locate the trouble spot for the student. Number 6. Word chart. The teachers point to words on the wall charts. Later on, the student read aloud the sentence they have spoken. The way the letters colored helps students with their pronunciation. And the last, figure charts. The teacher and later the student points to the color code figure charts in order that students associate the sound of language with their spelling.
Okay, hey, my name is Sinta Khoiriyah. My NPM is 091 9013641. I want to continue, my friend. This one is about plus minus in applied SW method for teaching learning process. Let's begin with the advantages of SW method. First, SW method makes students feel comfortable because students understanding themselves and students know their characteristics. The second one, students can be attractive in the class because SW encourage students feel happy, so students more confident and attractive in the class. The third one, students more creative because SW method know what the students need in learning so they can do adaptation with the new innovation. And number 4, increase students' intelligent potency and long-term memory, and as we can improve the students' vocabulary. While the advantages of SW, first, this often criticized of being a harsh method because make students cannot interact with others and make limitation. The second one, teachers are difficult to evaluate students in the progress of learning process because the role of students are weak and the teacher is dominant. The third one, students do not understand the materials because the teacher is less in explain. And number 4, teacher give materials very faster. This makes students cannot focus. They feel confused and students can bored. Number 5, this method can be benefited by the teacher only in a small group. Because if there are many students with active characters, the condition in the classroom will not be very conducive and make SW method very difficult to apply.
The conclusion is the silent way as a method since color diagnosis it is not one. Proponents of the silent way claims its principles are far-reaching, affecting not only education, but the way one perceives the living of life itself. So, there are clear implications for language teaching.
That's all for our group. We do apologize for our mistakes. Thank you for today. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.